On a sunny fall day in Livingston, Texas, a group of friends were playing a round of golf when all of a sudden one of them smelled something foul coming from the woods behind them. At first they all thought it was just the smell of some animal, but then they started hearing this guttural sound of what sounded like a huge animal. Then they saw what looked like a large dark shape running off into the brush. They all agreed that it was probably just a big animal like a bear or maybe a mountain lion. But as they continued to play the next few holes, they started to feel like they were being stalked by something terrifying. There's actually a local legend about a Bigfoot-type creature that roams these woods. The locals call it the beast of the Piney Woods, and apparently it has huge feet that are very human-like, not like a typical Bigfoot. And it's known for making regular appearances to golfers at this very course. Now, of course, the people who tell these stories are always made fun of by the people who don't believe in Bigfoot, so they never really go looking for evidence. But that's exactly what one of these guys did. After his round of golf, he went back to the exact spot where he saw the animal, and there in the mud he found these huge footprints. They were huge, about 18 inches long and 6 inches wide. And most remarkably of all, they were definitely humanoid. There was no mistaking these prints for any kind of animal. Whatever left these tracks was definitely walking on 2 legs. He even took a plaster cast of the print in case the original one would get destroyed. And to this day, he still has that cast, and it's sitting in his fireplace mantle. This story comes from a book called The Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and Yeti Encyclopedia by Loren Coleman. He actually interviewed the man who found the tracks, and apparently he still has the cast of them to this day. It's just a shame that we can't see pictures of them. But if we could, would you believe that this really is the beast of the Piney Woods? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to hear more crazy stories like this one, stay tuned. After the story of the golf course sighting got around, I got a call from a viewer. He said, "I saw something in the woods that I couldn't identify." He said, "It was big, it was hairy, it was bipedal, it was walking on 2 legs. He said he was hiking in the Piney Woods of southeast Texas. And as he was hiking, he heard some noise in the trees above him. He stopped to listen. And when he looked up, he saw something that looked like a large ape sitting in the tree." Now, this isn't the first time the beast has been sighted in the Piney Woods of southeast Texas. The legend actually goes all the way back to the time when Native American Indians lived these lands. Stories have been passed down through generations. Even today they can tell you the stories of their ancestors, sightings of the beast, and how they lived alongside the beast of the Piney Woods. And it's not just the natives who have seen this thing. There were early European explorers and settlers who also witnessed the beast. One story goes that a young girl was gathering wood with her dog near a creek in the forest. And when she turned around, her dog was gone. She called out to him, but he didn't answer. Instead, she heard a loud crash in the trees, and then her dog started to scream. She ran home and told her father what had happened. So the 2 of them went back into the forest to look for the dog. They found the dog's collar and some of his bones, but they never found the beast. There have been so many reported sightings of this creature over the years. Could it be the same creature that my viewers saw? Is there really a Bigfoot or a beast living in the Piney Woods of Texas? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Even more recently, more stories of the Piney Woods beast come from a group of loggers. They described something in the woods that they couldn't identify. But it was huge, bipedal, smelled of death, and made horrifying guttural growls. They describe a night of horror being stalked by the Bigfoot, where one of the workers went after the beast armed with an axe. He hasn't been seen since. The terror in their voices is obvious as they describe hearing him screaming in terror amongst the monstrous growls of the beast. That event happened in the early 1960s. None of the loggers can be found that will conduct an interview with me about their experiences. But police reports uncovered tell of a gruesome scene. When they showed up to investigate the report of the missing logger, they found bloodied clothes and a human skull with an axe head lodged deep in its forehead. After continuing to search the area, the officers then found themselves being stalked. Something big just out of sight in the thick forest. Those guttural growls could be heard in what sounded like full-grown trees being snapped in half. Then out of the woods comes a flying tree, as if something ripped it out of the ground and threw it at them. As a warning perhaps, they knew they were in danger and needed to leave now. The police with pistols drawn all ran to their cars and raced out of the woods in terror. Yeah, this is terrifying. There are some things that man was not meant to see, you know, in the forest. And I think these loggers stumbled upon something that was very, very evil. This story was told to me by one of the lead investigators of the case. His name is Robert Daly, and he was a Texas Ranger for 35 years. He said that this case, still to this day, is the most terrifying thing that he has ever experienced. It all started when a group of loggers were working in the Piney Woods of East Texas. They were working the night shift, and there were 3 separate crews working at 3 separate areas of the woods. One of the foremen noticed that one of the loggers from the other crew was untied his machine, so he went to go check on him. When he hollered out to his buddy and got no answer, he called out over the radio to the other crew to see if they had seen him. They stated that he ran to attack the monster. either so scared he felt he needed to fight for his life, or maybe he did it to protect the rest of the loggers. When the foreman examined the area, all he found was pools of blood on the forest floor and spattered the nearby pines. So they all met up at the ranger station and told the officers what had happened. They all agreed that this was strange and that they should go and check the houses nearby to see if they had seen anything or anyone. But when they got close to the house, they could hear what sounded like screams in the forest. Big guttural screams, and when they got closer, the screams stopped. They all agreed that whatever was out there, it wasn't friendly, and they needed to get out of there. Something very strange is out there in the Piney Woods of East Texas. To this day, no one knows what happened to that logger, and the forest remains very dangerous. To my surprise, no forensic reports can be found to identify the remains found that day. It's like it never happened, and someone wanted to bury the events of that night. If it wasn't for Daly's report, this horrific event would have been forgotten forever. I'm sure the family of the unnamed brave logger that decided to battle the beast are still looking for answers. I will try to locate them. I returned back to the golf course the next day to see if any more sightings had occurred and get any updates of the beast lurking nearby. I was told that the night maintenance crew left the job in a hurry last night, and all have given their notice that they quit and would not be back. The reason given to the owner was that no job was worth being mauled by that beast, and that they were scared for their lives the previous night. I reached the head maintenance worker, and he has agreed to talk to me. After finally reaching his house, he was on his porch with his rifle propped against the house nearby. He was clearly scared. He began to tell me of his experience last night while working the sand trap near the third hole. We were working the late shift, about 11:30 to 12:30, when we heard a blood-curdling scream in the woods behind the third hole. We didn't think much of it at first because we'd heard some strange noises out there before. But then we started seeing eyeshine from the moonlight from the edge of the woods. Whatever animal it was huge, had to be at least 9 foot tall, watching us from only about 30 feet away. I can remember the odor, a musky rot smell of a dead animal. I could hear it moving around in the trees and could see it jump from tree to tree. It was huge, like the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, maybe bigger. I couldn't see its face, but it was definitely looking at us, and I could see its mouth open wide with sharp teeth. I don't want to be too dramatic, but it looked like something straight out of a Kong movie. One of the girls working with me started screaming and making a run for the truck. That's when I grabbed her arm and told her to stop. I knew if we made a run for it, that thing would tear us apart, so I told everyone else to get down and hide in the bunker. I grabbed my shovel and was ready to defend myself. I don't remember how long we sat there listening to the beast, breathing hard and growling like it was planning his attack. But then it just stopped. The beast just disappeared, and we made a run for it, finally reaching the shop. The next morning, when we went to check on the area, a golf cart was upside down, as if thrown. Plastic bags everywhere, shovels stuck deep in the ground. It was clear that we got out of there just in time. We filed a report with the police, and I think they thought we were joking, and that it was some kids vandalizing the course. Until they saw the cart, it had deep scratches in the top, and the way it was positioned, there was no other explanation except that it was literally picked up and thrown. With fright in his eyes, I heard one of them ask the other what creature could have done this. As they examined the area further, they found huge human-like footprints going through the sand trap heading for the forest. As they entered the edge of the forest, they heard what could only be explained as ape-like sounds, but different, like popping sounds mixed with guttural growls and then high-pitched screams. Terrified, they decided to leave the area and call animal control to investigate. What creature could be making such sounds and cause so much damage? One of the animal control officers spoke up and said, "Sounds like you've got an aggressive Bigfoot on your hands." There are stories of sightings throughout history in this area. The two animal control officers said they will investigate the reports and walked off into the woods. It didn't take long until they had an eerie feeling of being watched. A huge creature could be spotted in the distance of the dark forest. Before they could react, the Bigfoot started running towards them, faster than they have ever seen an animal move before, crashing through brush and trees, with growls and roars that made the hair all over their bodies stand up. They were in full terror. Just as the beast caught up to them and they felt they were done, the Bigfoot veered off and disappeared into the forest. Just a bluff charge. A warning. Whatever it was, it worked. The two men didn't stop running until they had made it to the safety of the other officers and crowd that had gathered near the golf course's clubhouse. One of the officers struggled to get his words out, and all he could say is, "It's real. I thought it was going to kill us. Everyone must stay out of the woods here and give it as much space as possible at all times." The officers all spread out and posted signs along the edge of the golf course and forest. The signs read "Dangerous animal in the area. Use extreme caution." As they made their way back to their cars, they informed the course owner that they will contact a Bigfoot research organization to come investigate and see if they can capture or get the animal to at least leave the area. Try to push it towards the safety of the deep piney forest at least. as far away from people as possible. I don't personally know the people that the police are contacting about this issue, but one thing I do know. They better be prepared for what they are getting into. I will personally be following this case and will give any updates as they are discovered. I have never heard of a Bigfoot using or ever needing to use a weapon to hurt a human as suggested in the investigation of the loggers from the 1960s. We may never know what actually happened then, but one thing I do know. There is a Bigfoot in the Piney Woods of southeast Texas, and hopefully we can learn to live in harmony with the beast as the American Indians from this area once did. I hate to think of the alternative after seeing the and documenting the unnatural strength and ability of this particular Bigfoot. Stay tuned and stay safe.